All right. Welcome, finally, to I guess it's our first feature match broadcast of the night here. I had some issues with my audio and mic. Now, these players had issues with their streams. Discord was crashing them. Tonight is a bit of a comedy of errors here. But looks like we're good to go here. We got Christopher G. Oompa Loompa, and he's facing Adam, who's back with us for the, fifth straight week here on week 5. What's Adam got over there?
Outside Adam's crazy 15-6 record, he's got two caves in hand, the blue one and the white one, a one-drop bat, Purify, everyone's favorite creature,
Yes.
the 5-drop Ray, the Scavenger to Fix, and a Larcenist.
Well, I guess we're now seeing all of that here. So he was playing Abzan before, but now it looks like he's maybe moved into an Esper build of some kind. I think he was running something like that last week, or he just had a lot of aggressive splashes. Yeah. So Deep Cavern Bat is revealing exactly what you just said. So,
What do you get rid of if you're Chris here?
well, looking at Chris's hand, he's got a Skullcap Snail. He's got a Gravedigger, like the original Gravedigger, and he's got a Pointed Discussion, which is a black draw spell. I think it's just Larcenist is okay because Larcenist is like the removal for the bat, I guess, in a way. But usually the bat, if it gets petrified or Kitesail Larcenists, the card still is exiled. So, the bat is just going to be held at bay here by the Rune Lurker Bat. The Rune Lurker Bat is going to, they're just going to sit there, and these 1/1 lifelink bats are going to stare at each other for a minute, it seems.
Yeah, luckily Adam didn't draw a land for turn, but he did draw the Soaring Sandwing.
So remind me, what was the card that got exiled from his hand now with the Skullcap Snail? Which card was that? It was one of the revealed cards, but
I want to say it was the Ray of Ruin.
yes, yeah, the 5-mana removal spell.
I'm trying to think in my head. I'm like, why can't I think of this?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, no. So without black mana, Adam will be able to get his black mana, I suppose, next turn.
Yeah, he's probably going to cycle.
Yeah.
The weird thing is, though, is the bat has the Descend trigger. But you're putting a land on top, right? So you're just going to leave it where it's at. So it's kind of a waste of a trigger.
Well, the line goes into your hand.
You know what? I completely forgot about that.
Wow, if land cycling put the land on top of your deck, that would be. You're probably confusing it with the Compass now.
Very much so. That's quite the card to have on top there, the Glyph Bridge.
Right, so without another land, Chris is just going to do Pointed Discussion. So it's your classic draw 2, lose 2, and this one gives you a blood.
Yeah, I feel like we're in for kind of a slug match here. I would assume Adam slams down the Scavenger and goes looking for the black mana. But they both know that he has access to the Glyph Bridge. So I guess you're not really trying to slam too much more power on board.
Well, Christopher does not know about any Glyph Bridges.
It's a scry, okay. I'm thinking explore triggers.
He has no knowledge of this, but there's nothing he could do about it anyway. So in hand, Christopher has he has a Deadweight. He has a Gravedigger, like I mentioned. Cavern Stomper, the big 6-drop. He drew a Force, and he's got one of my favorite uncommons in the whole set, Chupacabra Echo. At the beginning of the draft format, I didn't really understand what black was doing or what a good black deck looked like, and then I realized it's kind of a Chupacabra Echo, Deep Cavern Bat. Like, those are the cards that you want to make the deck work. Chupacabra Echo has just been an all-star ever since I sort of got finally tuned in into what Black's trying to do in the format.
I assume you want some mill and some ways to recur it?
Yeah, so I posted a little bit over a week ago, so before Khans of Tarkir came out, I posted a screenshot where I had 2 Chupacabra Echoes in play, as well as 2 tokens that were copies of Chupacabra Echo in play, thanks to the card Self-Reflection. So
not playable, not real. It's not a real card.
It's real in your Chupacabra decks. Yeah, so it was not Chupacabra Echo, it was Echoing Chupacabras in that case.
Interesting. Okay.
All right, so
do a second Petrify. So in hand, it's just all removal.
Well, but with the Glyph Bridge too, though.
Yeah, it's just all removal.
Yeah, so All right, so there's a battle glyph drawn here for Chris, but it's not accomplishing too much. I suppose the good news is once more permanents end up in the graveyard, the preacher will die to the chupacabra. It's only at 2 right now.
I'm curious, Adam fires the Glyph Bridge off this next turn, or if he just kind of saves it back and just kind of like gets in with the Breacher for now.
It looks like he was thinking about casting the chupacabra echo.
So you said he has 2 permits
Interesting.
in the grave. So if Adam blocks the snail here, that'll put 3 in the yard, making
That
the Chupacabra alive.
that's it. But if the deep cavern bat just trades with the rune lurker, it doesn't kill the preacher because he still only has 3. But what he could do is he can. Oh no, he doesn't have enough mana because he doesn't have a second black. I was saying he could discard one of his permanents with the blood token, but he doesn't have double black. He would have to pay 5 for Chupacabra. So it didn't quite work out exactly the way I
Now
think he wanted.
Adam has 4 pieces of removal in hand.
Yeah, I'm not like that play sounded good if your opponent blocks with the preacher, but in this case he just gave up his bat for basically nothing.
Yeah, I mean, like, Adam did the right thing. Like, in what world, when you're at 20 health, do you, like, block a random 1/1 with your 2/4, right?
Not this world. That's all I know. So looks like he's discarding a card for blood here, and he's drawn a swamp. So he actually just he got bailed out by a swamp being on top.
Wow.
He just said, "Well, I kind of got myself in a situation here where I just have to do this," and he discarded his Cavern Stomper despite drawing his 6th mana, but he has the Gravedigger to get it back.
Yeah, I guess when it works, it works. I mean, Adam drew the Sentry for turn, so it's probably going to be either something between Sentry. I don't think he fires a Glyph Bridge off here.
No, I think he's going to want to get a bit more value out of it.
Yeah, I think if anything, you just deploy the Sentry and pass turn, right?
Which Sentry is that?
The shipwreck.
Oh, that one.
The 2
Okay.
for 2. Yeah.
Okay.
He's just, yep, gonna ship it back over.
So now Gravedigger doesn't. I mean, it could get back the Cavern Stomper, I suppose, but doesn't really have anything to do on this board. Okay. I assume Adam's going to take the trade, and then Chris can Gravedigger back his Chupacabra. I think that's the end game here for this turn.
Yeah, if that's the play, I can see Adam just going for the Larcenist.
Yeah, I mean Larsis doesn't really have a great target, but here we are. Well, I don't think he will. I don't think he's going to play Larcenist into Chupacabra in hand, right? That's kind of.
He did just draw into his 3/1. I mean, when you figure you have Glyph Bridge, Petrify, right? I guess he just plays a 3/1 here, goes past again.
I guess if he has Glyph Bridge, Petrify, this is going to be a very long game.
As I was saying earlier, yeah, it's going to be a slug.
Yeah.
I mean, Adam, like, he's still pretty healthy. He's not really pressured to do anything. This is like one thing Black does in this format. It kind of has like really long games because the creature stats aren't really quite up there.
Yeah. So it looks like he says, I don't really need to play Chupacabra right now. Let's discover instead. Let's kill your 3/1 and attack for 3. All right. So just kind of a slog here. Like kill your 3/1, takes my whole turn, attack you for 3. Adam's gonna play, I suppose, the Larcenist. No, he can't. He can't play Larcenist into Chupacabra. Is he just gonna petrify a 2/2, or is he gonna discover? Yeah.
Discover.
Oh boy. Well, that's.
That's
I mean,
cheap, cheap.
Adam would be wise to put it in hand. No, it just dies to the Chupacabra, right?
I think he just wants to get the Chupacabra out so he can just Glyph Bridge.
Okay, well, bad news for Adam is that Christopher drew another chance. So the Chupacabra will be able to kill 3 creatures this game, as it does.
I mean, technically, maybe even 4.
Possibly.
He could just play. Well, outside another chance you have in hand, because it depends if he can save the Gravedigger.
He just has the Malamet Battle Glyph, the sorcery fight spell, the uncommon. Your creature, your creature will get a +1 counter if it entered the battlefield this turn.
So he keeps Snail, has the mana for to go another chance.
Yeah, so he can get back Gravedigger, and the Gravedigger will get back the Chupacabra.
I wonder if he goes like Bat and Chupacabra or something.
I would be wanting the bat right now because you can get the Chupacabra later. So let's see what he decides. I think he's coming to the same conclusion. Yeah, there it is. So really, really well crafted here. Just he sees the bad news. Aviary Mechanic. That is a card I enjoyed quite a lot back in Kaladesh. Very, very, very useful card. Extremely useful.
It's the mechanic, the one that picks up your artifacts.
Actually, when it enters the battlefield, you may return any permanent other than itself to your hand. So it actually does quite a bit. It can reset an ETB creature, a pacified creature. If you need lands, it can actually give you an extra mana. Like if you're on 3 lands and you don't draw your 4th, you could play the Aviary, pick up your land, play it, and then play another 2-drop. So it's an extremely useful card. Also, Cloud Blazer was in that set, so sometimes you just put Cloud Blazer back in your hand and cast it again.
I'm trying to figure what Adam's play is here. So, like, he wants to play Larcenous, but he drew the Riddle for a turn, and it feels like he wants to play Larcenous.
Riddle's the counterspell that can also sort of impulse.
Yeah, but he probably wants to take the counter side for the Chupacabra. But by doing that, he would have to get rid of his Glyph Bridge. He'd have to turn it into a treasure.
But
essentially get 6 mana.
But it's counter unless they pay 4, right?
Yeah. Does Chris have another land?
Yeah, he drew a land.
Oh well. It depends. You know, some players sometimes play the card out before playing the land.
Really? People do that? I've definitely never done that. I've definitely never got mana leaked with the third land that I needed in hand. Right? We would never admit to that.
So let's see. I can tell he's really thinking about this. It's definitely tough. Like, do you really want to give up your Glyph Bridge?
Oh, he's not giving up the Glyph Bridge, I don't think.
He turns into a treasure, so it doesn't look he is. Hold on. Yeah, he's definitely thinking about it. It's not just an instant submit 0.
Yeah, this would be a first to see him turn his own Glyph Bridge into a treasure.
It makes sense. He has other ways to get it back.
Does he?
Yeah, I believe he said he has ways to get it back from the graveyard. Like, we know the mechanic picks it up from the field. He definitely has ways, at least 1 or 2 ways, to buy it back from the graveyard, I believe. If not, then I'm just sorely mistaken.
Okay, I'll look forward to seeing those if they're there. But he's
the
taking
Glyph
a
Bridge
long.
is definitely being turned into a treasure.
Okay.
But this might be fine though, because now he can. If Chris doesn't play the land, because he's counting it up now.
I mean, this.
Well, technically, Chris can just get rid of the treasure, also, right?
Chris has to be wondering what in the world.
Yeah.
This is all about. This would throw me for a loop. I'd just be like racking my head. What would be the reason for this? And I mean, maybe he'll land on it being an uncommon counter unless you pay 4. So he's drawn the Nurturing Bristle back for turn. He may just play that rather than the Chupacabra.
So is the Ward on Larcenous, is that 1? Yeah, he's gonna play
It's a Ward 1, so he's just gonna play the Bristle back, and I guess he's gonna counter it?
I would think so. I mean, like, so let's say you don't counter it, right? You petrify, then unless you draw a land, your Riddle is useless.
Yeah, there goes the Glyph Bridge. All right. Well, that was unexpected turn of events there.
Yeah, it's definitely not the outcome you want. But...
And as usual, and I will point this out as extremely frustrating in this format, even though Christopher had Malamet Battleglyph in hand, which costs 1 green, Arena did not tap the Captivating Cave. They always leave that as your absolute last land, even if you have no other mana. I guess he had the treasure, but like, just very bizarre choice.
Let's see here.
Yeah. Immediately he went to go tap the captivating cave for colorless. He was moving his cursor around last turn. That he
Oh,
not that he had anything to cast with the Malamute Battleglyph, but
he's gonna Malamute the 2/3. Okay, I was trying to think what that was, but
so now he's gonna do this. And his card left over in hand is the Tendril of the Myco Tyrant, the 2/2 that can wake up your lands. But that's probably going to eat a Petrify, because that will stop the activation.
Yeah, now Adam's looking on the back foot here, which is 2 Petrifies. I mean, Guiding Voice doesn't quite do it.
No, that's uncastable, right? And he can't even discover. He doesn't have enough lands. He just has to Petrify. Yeah, just got to Petrify.
He goes Petrify, which looks like he might do.
Yeah, then the Tendril gets to run rampant.
Yeah.
Yeah, not looking great here. So he can actually Tendril 1, 2, 3. Okay, he can wake up a land, but it'll be tapped. Yeah. But he still wants to do that with his turn. And
lock up this game with the land drawn for turn.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like there's an out here. So even if Adam had a glyph bridge that was flipped, I still think it was going to be looking bad here.
Crux of Fate's 5 mana, right?
It's 3 black, yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what Adam can discover here to potentially get him out of this.
Discover 4? I don't know if there's a card in the format. Maybe he found something offset, but let's see.
He's hovering over Guiding Voice.
What is that? What does that do? I mean, I know what it does, but it doesn't do anything here, right?
Yeah, I mean, no, because he shouldn't have any more learn cards or lessons in the sideboard outside of Sciences and the make a 3/2 Spirit.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
Does it either.
Because there's another 7/7 coming at him next turn on top of the one that was already made. Yeah. So I think he said, I'm not going to discover. I don't need to show cards from my deck. I know there's no 4-mana card that can get me out of this, so I'm not going to waste my time discovering.
So let's see here. Do we have an Esper list? It seems we do indeed have more of an Esper list this time around.
Yeah. And it looks like just a black-green deck over here. Pretty straightforward, kind of leaning into what black-green does in the format, which is descending. He does have some offset cards, not from the set, but his deck is very attuned towards getting stuff in his graveyard and getting value off of that, as we saw Gravedigger, another chance, and Chupacabra that got cast 3 times.
Yeah.
That's what we like to see.
One off the backs with some intel in the hand.
Yeah, I mean, Deep Cavern Bat, just such a strong card. I mean, it's basically made it into every cube ever now, like Vintage Cube, Arena Cube, it's going to be in. It's just all over the place. It is probably the best version of this effect that we've maybe ever seen, as far as like a 2-mana creature that can nab a card from the hand.
After game 1, Adam Lilly puts in the search bar for sideboard cards, graveyard.
we got a spicy one here up on the top of the curve. We got the 8-mana vampire demon that reanimates all your stuff. I mean, your opponent gets to reanimate their stuff too, but normally in this deck you are filling your graveyard faster than your opponent.
I saw Steve with a pretty interesting Rakdos version of that. It might have been Jun, but I think it was more red-black. But that thing was nasty whenever it landed.
Yeah, well, we saw his deck in the feature match, I think it was last week or the week before, and it wasn't exactly functioning the way he was planning.
With the Panharnami con against Chris?
He did get the Etherflux Reservoir in play one game, though, and then he must have been very glad that his opponent used a removal spell on it. So Christopher's taking a look through here, deciding if he wants to move cards in and out. I think he took out one of his 1/3 death touches, the Cave Crawler. Looks like he may be bringing in a Howling Giant.
Howling Giant? Why does this sound familiar? What does this thing do?
It's from a core set. It's a 7-mana 5/5 reach, and when it enters the battlefield, you get 2/2 wolves.
Yuck! That sounds amazing.
So it's kind of like a Nurturing Bristleback in a way. Very similar. Nurturing Bristleback being a 5/5 that makes a 3/3. There's a 5/5 reach that makes 2/2s. So a little better on the 7-drop end, but obviously Nurturing Bristleback has the alternate mode. And we've got a Chupacabra in hand in this game, among some other things. What's Adam holding?
We have among other things also.
I would assume so.
So his third land is the Cavernous Maw, and then he's got Cosmian Blast, Resplendent Angel, the Iceberg. We just said it last game. Crux of Fate.
Yeah.
He did get the Gearsmith from. Is that Kaladesh he's from?
Yeah, it's from Kaladesh. And now we got a card from Innistrad here, Headless Rider. Whenever it or another non-token zombie you control dies, you get a 2/2 zombie, and not a decayed one, mind you, just a regular old zombie.
Interesting.
So it basically 2-for-1s, and if you have any other zombies sitting around, it'll also do that. And of note, Christopher did have a zombie in hand, the Gravedigger, which he may use next turn to get back the Headless Rider. Oh, so that's a way to return your Glyph Bridge to your hand, this Gearsmith here.
You know, I had no idea what it did, to be honest.
It's basically a Gravedigger. Well, we're seeing Gravedigger. Well, it's basically one of those, but it can get back an artifact or a creature. So we got 2 creatures trade off, and then 2 creatures get them back. But Christopher is up a 2/2 after this whole exchange we just saw.
Yeah, Adam did draw the Aviary Mechanic for turn, but I'm going to assume he just goes Inspector into Iceberg.
Yeah, and so the Aviary Mechanic can, if something else ends up in the graveyard, the Aviary Mechanic can pick the Gearsmith back up to do that again. So the rest of Christopher's hand, aside from the Headless Rider, we got the Chupacabra Echo that I mentioned, which is currently at 1, so not killing anything just yet. He's got the Malamet Battleglyph that we saw last game, another chance, 2 Join the Dead. And the card he's drawn this turn is Woodland Champion, so that's another core set card. It's a 2-mana 2/2. Whenever a token enters the battlefield under your control, it gets a +1 counter. So I don't know how many tokens he's got going around to pump it up, but it can go...
Is Gravedigger zombie?
Gravedigger is, in fact, a zombie, yes. So if Gravedigger dies...
There might be 2 more tokens coming up.
You get a 2/2. Why is that? Is there a Glyph Bridge in the future here? Not quite.
No. But I mean, like, in order for anything to happen in this game, right? We're going to need to see creatures bashing creatures.
Yeah, Christopher's kind of just walling him off and saying, like, you have to deal with this Headless Rider before you deal with the Gravedigger. I mean, it doesn't work on tokens. Obviously, that would just be a little too good. But any non-token zombie will have that. Chupacabra Echo, not a zombie. I believe it's a beast and a horror and a spirit.
Yeah,
but it's definitely not a zombie.
The way to deal with this board, he's going to slam his Resplendent down here.
So there's a Malamet Battleglyph in hand. Also, there's, I would imagine he's just going to fire off his Join the Dead here. That's going to simplify things and get this Angel off the board. He may a Forest Cycle first. He just picked up his Forest Cycler to get his 5th land. So, of note, by doing that, he now has Chupacabra for 2 to potentially kill the 3/2 next turn. So, just a really well-constructed deck. Like, we're just seeing his deck just work exactly to his plan both of these games so far. Just doing exactly what he intended to do when he built it like this.
Looks pretty good to me. Recursion, lots of hate.
Yeah, so he's sitting at 10-9 now. He's a bit behind on matches, but this deck is looking pretty strong. Might make a run for it this week and rack up some wins.
Yeah, this Headless Rider is going to make this Crux of Fate awkward for Adam. Like, it looks like he wants to, like, last turn he was thinking about firing it off, but I mean, like, your opponent's going to be left with 4 power on board. You have a Mechanic and a Larcenist.
I don't think he could cast it last turn.
No, he was just looking.
It was not castable yet.
Turn ahead.
Yeah, this is this is you're seeing what 6 losses versus 9 losses. So we got 3 more packs here, and maybe it's showing here because just the Headless Rider and the Gravedigger are just really working well. So he's going to get back his Angel, which is going to eat another Join the Dead as soon as it enters the battlefield, basically.
It's a little awkward on the ground right now. You don't really want a 2-for-1 yourself.
I mean, we can Chupacabra Echo here to get rid of the 3/2, I suppose. And the Aviary Mechanic is doing exactly like I said it might do, which is if something else dies, it'll pick up the Gearsmith. And again, those cards were both from Kaladesh, so they're often played in conjunction as well. Again, like I said before, every air mechanic highly underrated, very versatile little card.
I mean, it's looking like a borderline really good card here.
Yeah,
I guess the strength of the Gearsmith though is the strength of the rest of your deck, right?
and the good thing about mechanic is it's not a it's a May trigger, so you can just play it on turn 2 as a 2/2 or turn 3 and not pick up anything. So it's all upside. Because there's been creatures in the past like these these white flash creatures, but you have to pick something up when it comes in. But that one you don't.
Let's see here. Adam is just gonna re-slam the Angel. Looks like.
And the Angel is going to join the dead for the second time, possibly.
Hold on, thinking about it. Get snapped back to the hand. Let me just process this real quick.
He's thinking. He's allowed. He's got time.
Nope, he's slamming it.
Okay, there it goes. It's going to be going right back to the graveyard. I'm surprised it's not dead already.
Alongside with it, did you just save the Larcenist for next turn?
Okay, so he does have the Kite Sail Larcenist. That is an answer to the Headless Rider, I guess, which can maybe let him start trying to make some headway here. Like, look,
isn't it?
We're on turn what, like 7, and it's like both players are still at 20, and there's just a bunch of dorky creatures staring at each other.
Isn't an answer like? Is it an answer though? It's still the same creature, right? Just a creature treasure.
Well, it loses its abilities.
Does it?
Yeah. The Kite Sail Larcenist, it loses its abilities and becomes a treasure. It has no text other than the text that a treasure gets.
So the bat worked because it already stole it?
Yes. The bat says it's exiled until it leaves the battlefield. Well, it hasn't left the battlefield. It's just changed forms. Right. So the ability is checking. So now he's gonna start getting assertive here. At least a little bit. He only has 1 attack. So Chupacabra comes in, kills something else with the Battleglyph, and he's going to demand answers now from Adam. He's basically forcing his hand for the board wipe, I think.
100%. Like, this is Adam's best scenario. You wanted that thing off the field.
So you want to know why somebody's 15 and 6? Well, two board wipes is a good start to explaining some of it. It's not all of it, but it's some of it.
Crux of Fate into a courtyard and then say go, and then probably either flip up the iceberg.
And I do have to say it every time. It's one of the filthiest Kofflerisms that has ever been. And no, I will not say it.
Which one?
The Crux of Fate.
Oh, huh.
There may be some filth in there. All right, so another chance is gonna probably get back Gravedigger and something else, and then the Gravedigger can get back. Oh, he's just gonna get the Chupacabra straight up. Last time he got the bat because he could do it in the same turn, play Gravedigger and the bat. But now he's just threatening to kill any reasonable sized creature here. And
can he hit 6/6?
No, he's at 4 right now.
Yeah, I'm a little. Huh.
I love these useful little reminders that pop up with the card. It just makes it easier for us, right?
Oh, the indicators to let you know, like what
Yeah, like when I'm playing, I could open up my graveyard and count in 5 seconds or whatever. But for us, we can't see the graveyard at all times. Looks like he's going to discover. It might be just feeding something to the Chupacabra here. But as far as things to be fed to the Chupacabra, that one is. I don't think Adam's going to miss that one so much.
Yeah, I might just flip the iceberg, honestly, knowing your opponent can't hit it.
Yeah, and Christopher's drawn a very interesting card, a card I kind of like. It's called Horror of the Broken Lands. Do you know about that one?
It sounds so familiar. Where's it from?
It's from Amonkhet, actually.
Oof.
So it's a 5 mana 4/4 black creature, and it says whenever you cycle or discard a card, it gets +2/+1 until end of turn, and it itself has cycling for 1 black mana.
Huh? Is that the zombie, or is that like a vampire or something?
I think it's a horror. It's literally called Horror of the Broken Lands, so I'm gonna guess it's creature type horror.
You're making a lot of sense here.
I mean, it's not a unicorn, if that's what you were trying to figure out.
So let's see. I'm gonna finally flip this iceberg over. I think that's his best play.
I mean, Christopher, he would need to get 2 more black 2 more green before he can. He has Cavern Stomper and Battle Glyph, but that's a ways away. He needs to hit uh, 2 more lands here, one of them being green.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the 6/6 may just cause a pain here. However,
Uh-oh. The perfect top deck?
well, the Forest. So he's just going to play the Cavern Stomper and he's going to try and fight it next turn.
Okay. Let's see
So
here.
he's scrying on top of his deck. He sees a mine cart, which he's putting to the bottom, and he sees one of his cards he brought in from the sideboard, Stinging Shot. That's another Amonkhet card. So 1 mana, put 3 -1 counters on a creature with flying, and has cycling for 2.
So, I mean, if anything, we might see the 7/7 become a treasure.
Okay, and then the Stinging Shot can basically get the Larcenist off the board for the low price of 2 mana.
Uh-oh. Hold on. Hold on. He's thinking about petrifying.
I mean, that could be an answer too.
I think he wants to petrify the 2/2, though.
Oh, the
To
2/2,
stop
yeah,
the
to stop the ability, yeah. That is a
Yeah.
very frightening ability.
I mean, Chris is only 1 land away from it.
Like, 7 is a lot.
I think the only thing that made that card even better is if the land came, like, had vigilance, because then you can swing and still use the land to animate more lands.
Were you playing back in original Ixalan?
Original?
Yeah.
I played standard, but I did not
Okay.
draft.
Because there was a card that was very good in draft. It was a rare. It was a 4 mana 3/3. It was green and had the ability to pay X green green, put X counters on a land, and it
Yeah.
becomes a creature. Compare it to this guy who's a 2 mana 2/2, and for 7 mana you just get a 7/7. If you paid 7 mana into that guy, your land was only became a 5/5, and it cost 4 mana to cast, and that was a rare, and it was like one of the bombs of the set. It was like not the bomb, but it was like top 20 rares for sure.
You sure about that?
Oh yeah.
No, let me go check the data.
Oh no, it was Waker of the Wilds. Go do your data thing, sure. No,
I'm
but just as a comparison, it's like laughable, right? Like in comparison to this Tendril, which just is so much better.
Oof. Goodbye, 6/6.
Yeah, I mean the Battle Glyph almost for sure is going to be used here.
Yeah. I can't say a world where it's not. That'll probably lead into the Larcenist next turn.
Yeah, and now he can freely attack with the Chupacabra because he has that Gravedigger in hand to get it back.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Chupacabra's getting in here.
I assume you just swing 3/2.
Yeah, Chris has just been like his deck has been. It's been very clear what he's trying to do, and every card that he's played, basically since the beginning of last game, is contributing to that. So, going for the synergy here. Like we haven't seen like the bombs that Adam has. He has a couple of nice rares that I saw when he was sideboarding, but he's using his synergy here, and he's just executing his game plan, and it's working so far. We'll see what Adam can do to combat this.
Well, an island for turn's not going to help out, and I don't really
Not
think
quite, no.
storing Sandwing is going to do it either.
The 3/5 flyer.
Yeah, that gains 3.
Yeah, he might have to fire off the Larcenist here, right? I mean, at least he knows that the Chupacabra is not killing it.
He might just fire off the Sandwing? I guess, okay, if he plays the Sandwing, gains 3, he can hold up
He could play both.
Osmium Blast.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Or he could just play both, like you said.
I mean, the 7/7 is still king of the board here.
Yeah, I guess you'd feel more comfortable with your opponent really only having one unknown card in hand. So, like you said, he's going to fire off the Larcenist.
Yeah, and looks like he's gonna convert that 7/7 into a nice little treasure. But like I mentioned, Christopher has his sideboard card that he put in for probably having just another way to kill this Larcenist, the Stinging Shot. He didn't see too many other flyers, so but he saw white and blue, and he said, "There's probably some flying creatures around." He saw the Rune Lurker bat also.
I mean, it's still fine. It cycles itself, right?
Yeah, but here it's gonna be way better than that.
I mean, that's like the best version of a sideboard card. It's multi-purposeful.
Yeah, it's good. It's good because if you don't have a target, you just cash it in, and now the 7/7 is free to attack. So he's going through his graveyard, deciding if he wants to Gravedigger this turn or if he wants to wait till maybe the Chupacabra goes in the graveyard. But he could also just get back the Headless Rider and make it even more annoying here.
Yeah, I think it's really his discretion, to be honest. I mean, like, your opponent's kind of stuck from where, like, your perspective.
Okay, he's just going to play the Gravedigger. He's just going to put more stuff into play. Looks like he's going to get back his 5/5 here.
So Adam drew a plains for turn. I guess he could go cracking the old wheels, make us another 6/6.
Well, 6/6 is probably better than discovering a random card of 4 mana or less, I would have to guess.
I mean, he could discover the Glyph Bridge.
For Discover 4?
Glyph Bridge is 4, right? Or is it 5?
I,
I'm thinking of the Thousand Moon Smithy.
I'm pretty sure it's 5. I have... it's been a minute since I played this format. I've been knee-deep in Konzatark here, but I do believe the Glyph Bridge is 5. I'm fairly certain.
You're probably right. I really have... I think I've never got to play the Glyph Bridge. I've only ever seen it on stream from Adam.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you've only ever seen it on your opponent's side of the board and felt hopeless.
Probably that too.
Yeah. I think I maybe had it once, but I definitely played against it more than I played with it.
So, are we going to see Reduce to Memory? We've never seen Adam actually grab Reduce, right?
I think he did once. I think he just needed to get something out of the way.
Let's see. What's the choice here?
I mean, turning the 7/7 into a 3/2 is not a bad option.
It's really not, because, I mean, that doesn't really give...
I mean, the 7/7 doesn't actually have attacks on this board anymore, but he'll just trade for the 4/6. He's just going to go for sciences here.
Alright. I mean, free card in life, why not? Why not?
I'll take it. Look, that's a 2 out of 5 right there. On the old Cloud Blazer index. Alright. So, interesting. Like, discovering into a +1 counter and a land in 2 life is not really what he wanted from turn, but, at least the 7/7 is kind of walled off for the time being. So it looks like Chris is thinking about discovering rather than casting the Bristleback here.
He might have a fair bit of removal in there.
Alright, well, he's got a nice rare here. I don't know if it's going to change the board too much. I guess... Actually, if he maps on the 7/7 and gets a counter, then he gets to start attacking with it.
I mean, I think you swing with the 7/7 regardless, right?
Trade it for a 4/6?
Yeah. That opens up the rest of your board.
Not sure about that, and he's also not sure about that.
Interesting.
Because he also knows there's a 6/6 coming. So maybe he says, I need the 7/7 to fight the 6/6.
Alright, let's see. I mean, Adam's holding up a Rebuke and a Cosmian Blast still.
What's the Rebuke?
Metallic Rebuke?
Oh, Metallic Rebuke. Oh, the counter spell. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't say Metallic at first because my mind was like having a fart, and I was going to call it Metabolic Rebuke.
Metabolic, yeah.
Exactly. That's why I was like, let's call it Rebuke. We'll take the safe and easy route.
I think that's what happens when you get indigestion, right? You have a metabolic rebuke.
Sometimes. So I guess we're just going to do a bit of like looking back and forth for a few turns here.
Well, here's a Howling Giant, the sideboard card I mentioned. 5/5 that makes 2 2/2s. But I think he's going to get rebuked.
It does appear so. Yeah.
It just looks like it's Garrick in the art, honestly. That looks like a Garrick to me. But it's just a giant druid.
I guess Adam is wanting to save up Cosmian Blast mana.
Okay, so he could tap his artifact here to leave up.
Yeah.
Cosmium. Cosmium is 4 damage to an attacker, right?
See, Senor.
Okay. No, because sometimes we get 5 now, but usually 4.
Oh, yeah, like on the Saw Blades and whatnot?
Yeah, or sometimes we just get 5. I mean, this is like one of the worst versions of this we've seen in a while at Common. In the past we've got, destroy a tapped creature for 1 and 08, right?
Yeah.
But
I don't know why. The last one for 5 I can think of is, what is it, like Summary Day or Judgment?
Summary Judgment, yeah. I mean, this does deal with a blocking creature as well, so there's that. But normally you want to use it on attacks. when your opponent attacks. I mean,
All right, so we're gonna fire off a Sage of Days. Go look at the top 4 cards, see if we can find something interesting.
yeah, that card has been. I mean, I think it's like in draft. It's sort of like one of the nice pieces in the blue black deck. I haven't really played it outside of that because it's guaranteed dumping cards in the graveyard.
Yeah, plus you're like getting like selection also. So we got an Uchenbach Clay Fired Bricks, which I believe was the choice, and then the Riddle.
Clay Fire Bricks is just a card that it creates such a sense of hopelessness a lot of the time.
Oh, he has enough to cast the Uchenbach.
Yeah, he's just gonna produce a 6/4.
Yeah.
But of note, the 6/4 doesn't get through the 7/7.
No, but I guess he's feeling safer now to start swinging with the 4/6.
Yeah. Also, the Iceberg can tap the 7/7 if he does want to get frisky with his attacks. Adam, that is.
Yeah, it's probably no time soon.
Yeah. No need. He's got 4 in the air here, which is a lot. And countering that, like if I guess Chris played the Howling Giant to block the 4/6, but obviously that got countered because the giant 5/5 that got countered has reach. But once the bricks get flipped, even a 5/5 wouldn't block this dinosaur. So
yeah, I mean, sadly, reach doesn't work from the grave.
looks like we just got a 5-power flyer that just must be answered in the next few turns.
Sometime soon. I would assume he has more than 5 cards or permanents in the yard. Where if he gets Join the Dead.
Should, yeah. I mean, he has a lot in there, so I think he has 8. There's once the Chupacabra's in play, it no longer indicates your descent count. So in hand for Chris, he's got a Swamp and he's got Baleful Amit, another Amonkhet card, and he's drawn another sideboard card, the good old fashioned Plummet. Just 1 and a green, destroy target creature with flying.
Yeah, I mean that's
Corset magic to a T.
These sideboard cards are definitely coming up.
Oh, well, okay. We got a raccoon here that's going to go basically grave dig for something. He can get back a permanent now. Possibly the Howling Giant. Alright.
And just like that.
Now we got something cooking here for sure.
Let's see, what does Adam get? Lodestone Needle is not the greatest here.
I mean, it's pretty good. It could lock down the 7/7 and then it could start exploring. Like, it's quite strong, I would say, here.
Yeah, I guess with Adam still having a 7/7 on his side, it doesn't give Chris like super clean attacks.
Well, no, I mean, nothing's cleanly attacking on this board except for the flyer, which is going to get shot out of the air sometime in the next minute or so. Adam's just deciding if he wants to do something pre-combat, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm curious why you would fire the needle off here, though. I guess he's doing the math in his head to figure out how quickly he can kill Chris. I'm assuming if you're playing the needle here, you're looking to put the counter on the 5/7.
Yeah, I mean, in Adam's head, he's thinking, well, my opponent's at 6, basically, with the flyer. How much more can I get him down with his attack? He's certainly not putting his opponent on any 2-mana card that can kill a 5/7 flying.
I mean, I personally wouldn't. Not from this set.
I mean, there is the uncommon black removal that would do it.
Bitter Triumph, whatever it's called.
Yeah, that'll do it. But this will do it. This will do it in a more fun fashion. We don't see too many plummets being cast. We've seen basically 2 plummets cast this game. You know, he saw a couple flyers. He saw white and blue mana. He said, "Let me bring in my flying hate," and it has served him well. Because whatever random cards, like a 3-mana 1/3 Death Touch, well, he'd be dying to a flyer if he drew that rather than a plummet. And now we get the bat drawn, so he can, instead of casting the giant, he could just say, "Let me see what you're holding there."
Yeah.
I am curious.
The question is does Adam fire the Lodestone Needle off here?
I imagine. I don't think the Cosmian Blast is very useful, especially if your opponent sees it. I mean, he could also
Yeah.
just take the Cosmian Blast because it kills the bat if it ever attacks.
I mean, he could just not swing with the bat, though, right?
To me, Lodestone Needle is more threatening. It's a source of card advantage. Like, Lodestone Needle is going to get you more than a card's worth of value. Cosmian Blast can only ever really be a 1-for-1. So the bat is just going to be on Defender mode here. Or not even Defender mode. It's going to be on Pacifism mode, I think. Here comes Baleful Abbot. So 3 mana, 4/3 lifelink. What's the catch? Well, you have to put a -1 counter on one of your creatures.
Not bad when you have a petrified 2/2.
Exactly. That's where that card was good.
So let's see. Are we getting in with a 7/7? I don't think so, because the Cosmian Blast, now that he knows.
And if I'm not mistaken, that Baleful Abbot, I believe, is a zombie, crocodile, and a demon, if I remember correctly.
A lot of creature types.
A lot of scary ones, too. That's a particularly vicious combination. And unique one as well. So, ain't nobody... Oh. He's drawn the Bringer here.
Uh-oh. So I
first of all, he doesn't have the mana. Second of all, I'm not sure it's better for him, because he instantly threw Adam's Graveyard, and there's some real good stuff in there. First of all, there's a Gearsmith that's going to get back the best thing that died as well.
Resplendent comes back.
What I could see is, as soon as he draws his 8th land, he does some crazy attack all, and then cast the Bringer, because a lot of his stuff is going to get eaten.
Yeah, the question is how many reaches does he have to deal with the Resplendent?
Inventor's Fair is an interesting one, too. Did you know about that one?
No. Search for an artifact. Ooh.
So, as long as you have 4 artifacts, you can go search for one. Also, you gain a life at your upkeep if you have 4 artifacts, but that won't matter. He just gets to go get Glyph Bridge, perhaps?
It's looking like it. He thinks between this and the journal.
And then the Bringer's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm curious who wins the Bringer match off though. Like, I think Adam kind of wins that one, to be honest.
I mean,
depending on how he blocks.
Of note, the icebergs will not return. But this is certainly quite something here.
Ooh, he's gonna keep his 1/1. I like it.
We may be getting one of the craziest turns that we've seen here if the Bringer of the Last Gift comes down next turn. But of note, he's going to be at 5, so he needs the land, actually. And Fanatical Offering, I don't think is going to solve the problem. All right, he's drawn a land, and he's drawn a Join the Dead. So he actually is going to be able to defend himself here against the land.
Well, let's see.
So we might be getting a fun turn coming up. Hopefully. So, yeah, the Maw's going to get joined. Is this where Adam flips his Glyph Bridge? I think Chris is hoping that he does. He's waving around his Bringer excitedly.
I mean, I would think so.
I mean, we are going to get so many triggers. My lord.
Yeah, we're firing it off.
This, we just finished voting for the best feature matches of the year. Well, if this Bringer turn is what I think it might be, this might be an early candidate for next year's for next year's proceedings. Adam doesn't have a counterspell as his last unknown card, does he? All right.
No, I think Bringer's going to be interesting.
Interesting is one way to put it. This is quite the board state that's going to be produced here.
Hello?
Yeah. This is going to be one of the more memorable moments from this league. Perhaps, like I said, perhaps of the whole year.
It's just sad that I'm pretty sure Adam wins this trade-off. I think so. Chris gets one Reacher back from the graveyard, but he hasn't. What? Well, I guess he gets Bat back. Maybe this would be more interesting than I think, because
and so
Adam
do Adam's triggers resolve first? Oh my god! Chris has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He has 8 triggers to resolve, I believe.
I'm assuming Chris's triggers go off first. Adam has no prompts.
And now he has to stack his triggers, and it's actually not trivial here because there's a lot going on. Some of the things you do want to resolve before other things.
So I've never actually done that with Arena. How do you stack your own triggers?
You have to go into your gameplay options and you unclick auto order triggered abilities or something. There, it's pretty clear once you're in there. Okay, so he's targeting with the Chupacabra Echo. Let's see what he's targeting. So, okay, interesting. Let's see what he chooses here. So the Gearsmith is actually going to get back the Glyph Bridge, which is going to kind of negate all of this.
Well, no, I think Adam just wins because Adam can Baleful Memory the bat. Then he has Lodestone Needle to deal with the Reacher. And then Christopher has no flyers and no Reachers from there, right?
Well, that's no fun.
That's why I said the Bringer is fun, but I think Adam just already has the tools in the hand and the game.
Well, that's so fun. We're ruining all the fun here. We want
like,
this game.
Is legit. Like this is like playing Commander. You know, like your opponent's about to do like some crazy turn, but like you already have the win in hand. They just don't know it.
We want this game to just go on, and we want Bringer to die and get brought back somehow, and do this all again. I want to be here for 2 hours. Actually, maybe not 2 hours, but
what you're saying is you want to see Glyph Bridge. You want to see Chris top deck defossilized, re-grab the Bringer.
I mean, we got half hour till our next feature match. So maybe we may be going into overtime tonight, thanks to some of the technical delays.
So let's see. The triggers are resolved. I've never done this. So is last actually first and first actually last, or is like first actually first?
On Arena, it's first is first.
Okay, I'm used to like whatever's first is actually last.
On Arena, your first is like all the way on the right side. It literally says first and last. On Arena, it's on. If you go Magic Online, it's. I think I've played Hero of Bladehold in Cube many times on the Magic Online, and I still have never stack it correctly.
Well, note to self, I am switching that because that'll make me feel like I'm playing a little bit more like real Magic, stacking some triggers.
Most of the time, you're not going to have 8 things triggering at once. Most of the time, you're going to have like 2.
A man can live the dream. And
I will say, normally, Arena will stack things in the way that you would want it to be. It sort of knows, but when there's 8 things, you got to be safe.
So let's see. I'm surprised Adam is like... I'm curious if he's looking for anything that could like stop his flyers. I'm pretty sure if I have this clocked, I'm pretty sure Adam has it clocked.
I have something clocked. I mean, we just put how many creatures back on the battlefield from the graveyard in one fell swoop?
More than one. More than one.
A dozen or so. So what, 7 creatures on one side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 or so. So almost 20 creatures enter the battlefield. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
So I'm trying to think in my head here. Chris stacked his triggers first, right? But
Adam resolves his triggers because he's non-active. So Adam gets all of his triggers first, and then Christopher gets his triggers. But anything that targets all has to be chosen. Chris had to choose his targets first, I believe.
I'm just a little confused here.
Just a little?
A little confused.
So Glyph Bridge comes back, which may just make all of this for naught.
Yeah, we don't need the Glyph Bridge though. You have the win in hand for the board.
I suppose. Okay.
I think Adam's turning the Resplendent Angel into a treasure, if I saw that correctly.
Well, that just means that if he Glyph Bridges, his angel will come back to him.
I'm gonna let the man have his fun. I get it. This is thrilling.
We're all having some version of fun tonight. I can tell you, I got like 5 pairs of headphones scattered around my room here, trying to get it to work earlier. But I am very glad we got the audio problems sorted out before this match. This match needs to be recorded. If this match wasn't recorded and somebody told me that this happened, I would not even believe them. I'd be like, yeah, whatever, fine, sure.
So what do you think is more crazy? the Cody versus Miranda brawl match that was like 2 hours, or this one?
Well, they're different for different reasons. Are you trying to bring attention to the fact that you single-handedly derailed
We
brawl
don't need to talk
matches?
about that. I just wanted to speak about which was crazier.
Oh, we even
That's the craziest
look at
match.
all the look at this Woodland champion synergy. I think it's getting 4 counters here.
Yuck.
It's getting 5? No, 4. Yeah, 4. So he's gonna bat away probably the glyph bridge. I guess this is all very silly.
But I mean, it almost doesn't matter because you can just baleful mastery it.
Oh, there's a baleful mastery. Oh my.
That's what
Okay.
I'm saying. I'm surprised Adam is letting all this happen.
Adam's just chilling out. He's having a good time. He said, this is not my problem. This is your problem, opponent. You did this. You put 20 creatures into play, not me. So he's going to -1 counter on his Headless Rider, which is going to create another zombie token, which is going to put another counter on the Woodland champion. I don't know what all this is for, but he's Chupacabring. Oh, he turned it into a treasure because Chupacabra triggered it. Chupacabra targeted the Echo, the Angel. Sorry. So I'll start from the beginning. Chris's triggers went on the stack first, and he had to choose targets. So he targeted the Angel with the Chupacabra. Then Adam's triggers went on the stack, and he chose his targets, and then Adam resolved his first. So he already knew the Angel was being targeted. That way, he could turn it into a treasure, and it would stay on the battlefield.
Interesting.
All right, well, things happened.
So I wonder if Adam could have just gotten rid of his kite sail for lethal there. I wonder.
Possibly. So how many? He has 1 flyer here, and how many flyers are on the other side? We got a 6/6 flyer, we got a 5/5 reach, and that's it. So let's see what the glyph bridge. All for naught, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Why did we just spend the last 7 minutes resolving that turn for it all to be undone?
I mean, don't worry about it. Chris will just top deck it to fossilize, and we'll do all this again.
And now he wins. So, well, he wins because he decides that he wants his Angel.
Adam's brain is too damn big for me. Too damn big.
Well, there's a reason why he's 15-6, and we're
Yeah,
not.
well, no, I did not see that line of turning the angels with treasure and rebringing it back with the glyph bridge. I keep forgetting it doesn't have summoning sickness. It doesn't go away. Like, maybe that's why I'm terrible at this set. Maybe this is why. Maybe that's why I'm already dead.
I never even joined, but I know I wouldn't have been able to see that.
I can definitely see there's a lot of fun lines, and one thing I'll give, this league is, I gotta say, it's been pretty fun. It's like a mix of like everything you could want in just like one league, kind of just jam packed in there.
Yeah, I will say that the way it turned out was pretty cool, considering this is a set that I know not. It's not a bad set, but I know it's not on people's like favorite list as far as limited formats. I think we spiced it up enough with the league mechanic of being able to jump off set here and there.
100%. Like, I'm typically not really much of a chaos guy, but watching these games is quite a treat.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't regret my personal decision to sit it out until the matchmaking bug got solved, which it appears it has. So
I hear the regrets. If I could die and never hear you utter the words "bug," I couldn't die quick enough.
I'm good. But this is like this is a very fun match, right? And we have seen over the past couple weeks some of the off plane cards that are coming in and having some fun here. So interestingly, Chris is citing in duress.
Duress. Ooh.
Yeah, he says.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
He
They
says,
both have a recursion and some bombs.
He says, "I see you, Glyph Bridge and Crux of Fate. I see you. I want those gone."
Game 2 of Cyborg games, his Cyborg cards came in pretty clutch, so
I mean,
we'll have to see if they show their face again.
Did Restoration Gearsmith not buy back Glyph Bridge twice today?
Listen, man. I don't know what game you were watching.
So we've got a, I was going to say a fairly reactive hand here from Chris, though his first couple of draws were a bit more assertive. He's got the snail here. He's got a Malamet Battleglyph, so he's got two Join the Dead. He's got that Baleful Amet, the 4/3 that has to put a counter on something. Skullcap Snail was probably, going to be very excited to die when the Amet comes down. And he's got a Careening Minecart, but no third land yet. So he needs to draw that third land in order to function here. What got exiled from hand there?
Adam exiled the Foundry Inspector from,
All
I
right.
believe that's from Brothers War.
All right. So
He's
what
gonna
else has
fire
he
off.
got?
He's gonna fire off the Clay Fire to Bricks, grab another Plains, and then we got a Maul, Guiding Voice. I keep forgetting it's the 3/1 from an older set, the Visitor.
Asylum.
The Asylum Visitor.
Yeah, Asylum Visitor.
A Larcenous, and then a Ray of Ruin with a Petrified drawn for turn.
So rather than drawing a land for turn, Chris drew the most expensive card in his deck.
Is that the bringer?
The star of the last game, I suppose. Short-lived star, though. Short-lived star, but he burned bright while he was there.
So I'm curious here. Adam has the Larcenous hovered. A turn. I feel like you don't want to ramp your opponent though when they miss the land, right?
I mean, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris will take it. He'll take it for sure.
I guess. I mean, he didn't really have much other action. I guess so it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not sure I like that, especially after he missed his third land drop, right? Like that's a risk he didn't need to incur. What is that 1/1 doing? It's not doing basically anything.
So Guiding Voice probably grabs Environmental Science.
Oh, you gotta.
I guess we're going Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Who's that?
We're apparently we're not doing the environmental sciences. You don't know Bill Nye the Science Guy?
No, not personally. But yes, I did watch his program as a child. He was on TV in Canada.
I was like, wait a minute, I thought we had this conversation. I thought everyone knows Bill Nye.
North America, yeah, I would say so.
So we got a choice between Plains Courtyard and Ukenbach.
Plains Courtyard. Okay.
I guess Adam wants the Courtyard on
The hidden courtyard. Okay.
Yeah.
So we got a land here for Chris, so he's at least drawing out of the mana issue of missing the third land drop.
But is it a swamp?
Nope.
I feel like he wants to fire off the Join the Dead, but I feel like he doesn't want to get rid of his 1/1.
I mean, he wants to fire off the Join the Dead to get rid of the 3/4 flyer. Like getting his 1/1 back. I mean, I guess it's okay, but
I mean, it's nice also to have something to.
if there comes Amit, it has to put a counter on itself, so it's just a 3-mana 3/2 lifelink. I think he's just willing to trade his mind card here and make a treasure so he can join the dead.
That's like a fine trade to me.
Yeah, and I think Adam will. If I'm him, I'm taking the trade.
I don't know, man. Adam's a little wary here. He got burnt last time, remember?
He thinks on a different level than us, I guess. He thinks on the level of somebody who's in the top 8 presently.
I guess he's gonna set the trade here.
Yeah, I mean you can't just let that.
Maybe
you can't just let that thing keep attacking, can you?
Thinking about it. Hands in, hands out, hands back in. All right, we're accepting it. Trade taken.
Yeah, interestingly, if he didn't take the trade, Chris could then cast his Malamet Battleglyph and with the treasure kill the Larcenist.
Ooh, that would have been good.
I think he was hovering over the Battleglyph, hoping for no blocks, but he did have to attack. He did need the treasure there.
So let's see. I believe Adam's going to dig for his black to unlock the 2 cards in his hand.
Well, that makes sense to me.
Does he just play the swamp and toss down the visitor?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a 3/1. It doesn't really have too much text right now. I believe it says that if a player has 1 or less cards in their hand at their upkeep, he's going to draw a card and lose a life.
If player has no cards in hand, you draw a card.
Oh, no cards. Okay.
I mean, it's very finicky. He was saying that before he put the card in his deck. He was wondering, how good is this card really?
Yeah, I don't think it's really made for this format, but in Innistrad, you sort of had madness. You were discarding stuff. You could get empty-handed. There was a lot of discard outlets for value. So, That's I mean, it's a bit of a weird include, I would say. Nothing special here, but he's does not want to block the Baleful Ammon. He's just gonna take a three power lifelink hit here. So he's just passing. He's drawn another chance here, so he can cast that. He can now cast his Join the Dead. That's about it. And he, of note, he does have 6 mana, and his Bringer costs 8. Not that he's going to fire it off just yet, but he's closer to it than it may appear, if he wants to go down that route. Which,
yeah, he wants to fire off the
Not yet.
Ray of the Rune on the 3/2.
I mean, it's tempting.
Or he's gonna petrify it. Seems petrify is the way.
I'm kind of surprised that Chris didn't just join the dead on the Larcenist and then get back his 1/1 and use that to trade with the 3/1.
I'm a little surprised also.
That would have been a play that I would have been thinking of doing. It's it's basically a 2-for-1. Your 1/1 snail. Who cares about it? Right. So does Adam have a way to blow out this Malamet Battleglyph that may be getting cast this turn?
His face. That's about it.
So he does not have a way to blow it out.
No, but he
Okay.
did draw a second petrify for turn.
Okay. So he's just gonna attack him down to 5 here. So all this fancy play is not getting there for Chris this game. He had a couple of opportunities to. I would have personally liked him to just join the dead on the attack and try and block the 3/1 with the 1/1. Instead, he just didn't spend his mana on anything.
Yeah, but I mean, Chris has so much like removal in hand. I think he's fine.
Yeah, he's at 5. He does need to act immediately. So this bricks is pretty much ready to fire off. Is there an artifact somewhere?
I'm trying to think. What happened to his Foundry Inspector earlier?
I think it got exiled from the snail, right?
Yes, okay, so it's not available.
Okay, so he Malamet Battleglyphed here. He gained 3 life, and he gave up his Amit. I think this is building towards trying to get Bringer into play. He does have the requisite mana now.
So I guess I like not blocking this Larcenist or killing the Larcenist.
Yeah, he doesn't want it to come back into play.
Yeah. Now Adam's going to kind of play into this more than likely because he has Gearsmith in hand.
Okay.
Hard to believe he doesn't grab something.
And play it, yeah.
Yeah.
So Gearsmith can get back the. He can't play the 3/1.
He could grab the Sage.
Yeah, it could just be Sage. So when this fires off, I think the 3/1's the 3/1 and the whatever that guy's called, the Great Mistake.
The Uchenbach.
The Great Mistake was whoever chose that as the name. That is the greatest mistake. That's going to come into play.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris might just join the dead his own creature here.
I'm really surprised Adam didn't submit 0. It was island.
All right, well, here goes. I think Adam may see what's happening here. He may be he may be thinking there's something up here. So
That'd be so funny.
so of note, the snail will not be returned. It will be returning to play. Actually, it'll be returning to play in an even better way than
will it?
stopping to be a treasure. It will come back from the bringer.
This might start to wrap up the game. This will grab the Ray of Ruin. I guess you can technically put on the snail, right? Oh, yeah, because you control, right?
Yeah. So the Ray of Ruin is gone. We got a 6/6 flyer here.
Yikes.
So he did draw a card and lose a life, did he not? From the Asylum Visitor? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he started his turn with 0 cards in hand. Now there's 2, so.
Sadly, he drew a Crux of Fate with only 1 source of black.
And that's, I say it sometimes. I say it a lot. 3-color mana bases, especially with some colorless caves thrown in there. Sometimes you ask for trouble and you find it. But
the overall power level of the deck is pretty high.
Yeah, I would say that his mana is functional at higher than 90%. rate. You know what I mean? So of note, Christopher has he has another chance in it if he wants to try and do this all over again. He will need 2 more mana sources before he can successfully do that.
It's kind of a tough decision. What do you get rid of here? The flyer or the life linker?
I mean, he's
Think
getting
nine
4
times
life.
flyer?
It's got to be the flyer still, I think. But maybe he's afraid of it getting recurred. But like I said, he's only on 6 mana, so he's actually going to leave it in play. He says, "I don't want you to gain any more life. I'm okay with this."
Let's just replay the Ukenbach.
Yeah, so in hand for Chris, we got another chance. We have another Join the Dead that's been in his hand since the opening, and Horror of the Broken Lands as well. That 5 mana 4/4 with cycling and gets upside from. And he's drawn another Join the Dead, so he's just he just, like I said, like green. This is like your classic green black deck. This is what green black does, like in limited or should do, right? Like you have big creatures. You have, I mean, he didn't play any ramp because there's.
Ooh.
But
wait a minute. Duress hits what?
It's non-creature, non-land.
So Duress, if Adam doesn't get the black source, Chris can pluck the Crux of Fate out of his hand.
He dumped the Duress in the graveyard though.
Oh.
Like this is like classic green black. You know, like you're playing around with the graveyard. You're playing bigger creatures. You have removal, and you just have inevitability, right? The game just draws out, and you just will have more resources.
I mean, this is the archetype 101, right?
Yeah, this is and his offset cards from outside of the set are just working so beautifully into this, which is what we like to see. You know, that's sort of the goal of these. You know, having these paths where you can find cards from offset, you just get some cool stuff. And sometimes it really works out, and we're seeing a very, very impressive display here. So we get a 3/3 coming into play, not exactly what he was after. So now the question will be, can Adam find the black before he dies to this flyer?
I guess you double block the 4/5?
Yeah, well, we have Joined the Dead to blow this out.
Ugh. I mean, Rebuke isn't going to cut it here.
Oh, Metallic Rebuke. He does have an artifact to cast it, so he can certainly count. Chris has the Horror of Broken Lands in hand, but I think he's just going to hold on to it. He says, "I know what's in Adam's deck. I know there's 2 board wipes, and I know one of them might be in hand and currently not castable. So no reason to play this 4/4." All right. Well, that's not what Adam was after. So
yeah, no. Drawing Plains Return is not the way.
Looks like we're getting the Bringer. So the Bringer sort of spun its wheels last game, but didn't get there. But this game, we certainly see it getting there. So congratulations to Chris. That's early candidate for one of the most memorable feature matches of this new season of Arena Gauntlet League. So thanks to the players. Congratulations to Chris. And we'll be back with our next match in a few minutes.